By providence, our boss paired me with another Christian brother, which we worked together quite often. We were in a completely dark room in another plant at Pike Motor Division, other than lights over the table we were working off from, a marble table. We were facing each other, and out of the peripheral vision to my right, I turned, and two angels hovering to my right in gleaming white robes and wearing masks like the sport of fencing would do, and hovering off the floor for 8 inches off the floor. And I'm asking, well, why are they wearing masks? And they said that because of protecting our eyes, that we'd be blinded, otherwise it'd be like looking into the sun. And I asked them why they were there. And the reply was through telepathy that they were there when I was born, and they will be when I'm called home, they'll be there. And I asked them, will that be today? And they vanished. So that was the first experience of having two angels to see and one always in the back to interpret the meaning. I think he wanted us to see how real angels are. And when I was turned around to face him, of course, becoming paralyzed, couldn't speak. After this was all over, I turned and wanted to ask him if he had seen them, but no voice. I couldn't ask him if he'd seen them. I still don't know today if he's seen them or not. So a few years went by. I never did get the answer why they were hovering off the floor. So a few years later, woke up in bed at 2:30 in the morning with 3 baby blankets hovering over my body. And each blanket had 100 scintillating, flashing lights. And I asked, that's what woke me up, all those lights. And I asked, why are all these lights? And the angel said, well, these 3 blankets represent 3 churches that are praying for you. And each of those lights is a person praying for your complete recovery. And these churches, one was in North Carolina at Camp Lejeune. Another one was in South Carolina, Beaufort. And the other one was from a local church where you were attending. And then they were gone and vanished. And again, being paralyzed, it took me a few minutes to be able to move and look around to see if this is for real. So that was the second incident of the angel. This is the third incident. I was being poisoned by a Dr. Fada and ended up in the hospital seriously ill. Had IVs in my arm, oxygen up my nose, all kinds of apparatus, heart monitors on, and for 3 days and 3 nights going without food and going without sleep. Around 2:30 in that morning, I just cried out to God to either heal me or take me home. At that moment, an angel got under each of my shoulders and my arms and started taking me up. And we were heading for a big 10-ton steel I-beam, and I began bracing myself for impact and went right through it. Now, these 2 angels had a sense of humor because I heard them over say, they said, did you see the look on his face? Let's take him through again. But we're going up, up, up through all the spheres, the atmosphere, the hemisphere, the ionosphere, planets going by. And I started getting second thoughts. What is my wife going to do in mowing the grass and in the wintertime plowing the driveway? My concern was for her. And it was like a rubber band snapping in and back into my body. And then 3 doctors at the foot of the bed asked, do you want to go home? And each encounter I had with angels, I could not speak. All I could do was shake my head, yes. And then they got together and sent me home. But for a year, I could not talk about these instances at all. I could talk about electrical engineering, I could talk about quantum geothermodynamics, I could talk about cars, could not talk about these angels. So that was the end of these 3 stories of the encounters with the angels. So the reason why they were there was simply to let me know they were there when I was born, and they will be there when I'm called home. So God has his way why I cannot explain. This is hard to believe too, probably, because I still get wisps of them turning or getting somewhere. You see this flash go by, a wisp of those angels still letting you know that they're still here. So with that happening, it's an encouragement to know that when they leave, they're really not leaving.